January the 7th, 2017. Guys, you're looking at the whitehouse.gov, and you can go there and check different things out. This happens to be the one that shows you the executive orders, White House schedules, things like that. But if you go to executive orders, there's going to be one that you really, really, really need to pay attention to. I alluded to this in the last couple of videos. One was King Check, Code Red. The other was, I think, last night, talking about Jeh Johnson issuing, or basically wanting to federalize, or issuing the order to federalize the elections. I'm going to read this executive order that was actually written the 28th of December and was, again, to be issued on the 29th. We'll pull this down and take a look at it. The White House, Office of the Press Secretary for immediate release, December 29th. Says executive order taking additional steps to address the national emergency with respect to significant malicious cyber-enabled activities. The national emergency. Guys, I hadn't heard about that. Can someone enlighten me on that? I sure need to know about it. It goes on, by the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the National Emergencies Act, and the United States Code. I, Barack Obama, President of the United States of America, in order to take additional steps to deal with the national emergency with respect to significant malicious cyber-enabled activities declared in Executive Order 13694 of April 1st, 2015, and in view of the increasing use of such activities to undermine democratic processes or institutions, hereby order. Section 1, Section A of Executive Order 13694 is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 1A, all property and interest in property that are in the United States, that hereafter come within the United States, or that are hereafter come within the possession or control of the United States, person of the following persons, are blocked and may not be transferred, paid, exported, withdrawn, or otherwise dealt with. The persons listed in the annex to this order. Any person, get this now, any person determined by the Secretary of the Treasury in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of State to be responsible for or complicit in or to have engaged in either directly or indirectly cyber-enabled activities originating from or directed by persons located in whole or in a substantial part outside the U.S. that are reasonably likely to result in or have materially contributed to a significant threat to the national security, foreign policy, or economic health or financial stability of the U.S. and that have the purpose or effect of harming or otherwise significantly compromising the provision of services by a computer or network of computers that support one or more entities in a critical infrastructure sector. B, compromising the provisions of services by one or more entities in a critical infrastructure sector. What just happened? The elections became critical infrastructure. And that was in the report last night. That just happened too. It says cause misappropriation of funds or economic resources, trade secrets, personal identifiers, or financial information for commercial or competitive advantage or private financial gain. Man, the DNC would be in trouble if this applied to them. Tampering with, altering, or causing misappropriation for information with a purpose or effect of interfering with or undermining election processes or institutions, and any person determined by the Secretary of Treasury in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of State to be responsible for or complicit in or to have engaged in the receipt or use for commercial or competitive advantage or private financial gain, or by a commercial entity outside the U.S. of trade secrets misappropriated through the cyber-enabled means, knowing they have been misappropriated, where the misappropriation of such trade secrets is reasonably likely to result in or has materially contributed to a significant threat to the national security, foreign policy, or economy of the U.S. B. To have materially assisted, sponsored, or provided financial, material, or technological support for, or goods or services to, or in support of any activity described in subsections A of this section, or any person whose property and interest in property are blocked pursuant to this order. C. To be owned or controlled by, or to have acted or purported to act for on behalf of, directly or indirectly, any person whose property and interest in property are blocked pursuant to the order, or to have attempted to engage in any of the activities described in the subsections. Executive Order 13694 is further amended as adding an annex to Executive Order 13694. The annex to the order is: Executive Order is further amended by redesignating Section 10 as Section 11 and adding a new Section 10 to read as follows. The Secretary of the Treasury, in consultation with the Attorney General and Secretary of State, is hereby authorized to determine that circumstances no longer warrant the blocking of the property and the interest in property of a person listed in the annex in this order, and to take necessary action to give effect to that determination. This order, now, you tell lawyers did it, this order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity, by any party against the U.S., its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or in any other person. The order is effective 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 29, 2016. Barack Obama. Guys, again, 13 days. It's a heads up. Be safe.